What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So people have been asking me for a while to interview people, right? And today we're going to interview a friend of mine. I met him a very long time ago. And as you guys know, I did 24. He did 31 years. We're both blessed to be out here. So let me go ahead and bring him up right now. Let him introduce himself. How you doing, Daniel?
Hey, how you doing? I'm Daniel Salinas. Uh, Grateful and thankful for Delta allowing me this opportunity to
Absolutely.
share a little bit of my testimony to him and to the audience.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that watch my channel that they don't know about prison. It's something, it's fascinating to those that were never involved. Meanwhile, those of
Yeah.
us that were involved, it wasn't fascinating whatsoever, right? If we learn.
Uh,
So I met you in 1995 in New Folsom.
right.
I had just started my time. I got busted in 93. I got there in February of 95. And I think you had just came down from the shoe. I don't know how long ago before that you came down. Didn't you come down from the Bay?
Yeah, that was already what I got busted in '86. So I was on 9 years already. I was in the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I got out up in the Bay for like a month. Then I went right back to the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
And I had another 2 years. And then when I finished that last shoe term, that's when I went to New Folsom where we met,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, I got to actually kick back there for the couple of years that I was there. That's where we met, playing Pinnacle, playing a lot of Pinnacle. I
and,
remember those games, bro. Those games were something treacherous, man. You
and that's
know?
the thing. Like back then, prison was a lot different than it is now.
Yeah,
Daniel and I, we both got out due to the youth offender law. It
right,
changed. And there's a lot of people. Somebody asked me the other day in the comments, well, why were you so unique? And I said, I wasn't. I wasn't at
right,
all. When SB 60 was the first one, and then it went 61, 60, and then it went to a few different ones, but thousands and thousands of lifers got out because of that, because they had to be evaluated at board as a juvenile because our minds weren't fully developed when we committed our crime. That's the only reason why Daniel and I are out, and thousands of other people. But I mean, I'm sure you can talk about how when we went in. I mean, you went in and you said 86. I
yeah,
went in 93, and back then you knew if you got a life sentence, that was a death penalty.
yeah. Because I remember I got busted in '86, and then after all that trial stuff and everything, I came to prison. I caught a shoe right
Mhm.
off the bat in Vacaville because I was the Northern Reception Center for people living where I grew up at, right?
Mhm.
So when I went there, I caught a shoe there, and then I went to New Folsom shoe in '87, and it was a 10-month shoe,
Mhm.
and then a month and a half after I got there, I caught another shoe,
Mhm.
caught a 2 year shoe.
Was that on B side, on a B
On
yard, on
B
the small
side,
side?
I was in
Small
four
side,
block.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was
A lot
in
of
four
people.
block.
I just wanted to say that because a lot of people didn't know, well, don't know that New Folsom had the shoe on the small side.
Yeah, when it opened up, New Folsom B 1 through 4 was shoe, and then 5 through what is it 8 was mainline.
Mhm.
So I was in four block, and then like a month after I got there, I caught a shoe, 24 month, and then like 2 weeks later, I caught another shoe. So another 2 years I were added. No, yeah, 2 years. Then I went to Bedrock right there in one block,
Mhm.
and I stayed there close to a year, and then they shot me out. But then they were already in the process of shutting down the shoe right there on B Yard 1 through 4, and then in '88, so that was '88, and then in '88 they ended up sending us to what Corcoran
Mhm.
shoe. we opened up that shoe. We were like man, that prison wasn't even ready for us, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, they that prison shouldn't have even been open until I would say like in 89. But they opened it up. I got there Christmas Eve. Frozen breakfast, frozen. It was gotcha, bro.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was horrible. It was messed up. The conditions of the cells and everything. And then I did that time. Stuff kicked off in there. I went through all that what they call the gladiator stuff. And then I caught another shoe there. They didn't want me there. No, they go, nah, we don't want you. You're gonna go up there with the big boys. So they sent me to. That's when the bay was already open. They shot me up there, and I finished off my shoe there. And then, like I said, I got out for like maybe a month, and I caught another shoe and went right back to the shoe right there in the bay. Stayed there, did the shoe, and that's when we met right there. You know.
Yeah, for those that you haven't realized, Danny's a big dude. I remember when I met him. I was a skinny little dude, little knucklehead,
but and had hair. If you guys could imagine this guy with hair. I'm over here trying to grow my hair, and I'm kind of fighting right now, bro.
No, but I remember he was one of the bigger dudes on the yard as far as the homies. And I remember the two homies that were like the biggest dudes. Daniel one day was like, "I'm gonna be your bodyguard," and I was like, "I don't need no bodyguard."
Yeah. Well, you know, I do remember that. You know why I remember that? Because when I saw it, when we met, we were at the pinnacle table, right there where all the homies and everybody kicked it. We were playing pinnacle. Well, you were, and I was just kicking back watching. And then I saw how your stilo, I saw your get down, I saw everything, right? Because that's what we do in there. We analyze, we check, we watch, and everything, you know? Well, that's what they taught us, right? And you learn that in there. And I kind of like, I go, I like this guy. For a little guy, I was like, this guy got a lot of big balls on him. So I kind of like, okay, cool. But then, remember that stuff that happened in 3 Block, right? When the heat came down on you for your visit.
Oh, yes.
I was in 3 Block. I was in A section. And
I was in B.
Yeah. And we went to the yard. I had talked to, because see, there's certain things about like that you don't know what was going on because it's on this side, on my side, right? And one of the things you didn't know was that there was campaign against you in there behind that visit that these fools were tripping on, right? And I was like, I go, wait a minute, because the homie came and got at me in the building and told me, goes, hey man, these guys know you're tripping and shit. And I'm like, I go, nah, homie, I go, fuck that. So I go, when I went out to the yard and I went and talked to the homie and I told him, wait, homie, what the, you know, and he's like, he goes, well, what happened? I told him, I go, hey, bro, this dude, he's not in the wrong of anything. He's in, I mean, he wants his visit. I go, if anybody was calling my visit, I go, you guarantee you're going to come, I'm going to go get my visit, bro. And he was like, yeah, I hear you. He goes, then just squat, you know, they just didn't, you know, and that's when I told him, I go, I'm going to be his back, I'm going to back him up on that, you know, and that's when everything just, and that's when I told you that.
Well, plus, I went out there and he asked me about it, right? And immediately I said, I got mad. I said, who the fuck is gossiping though? Like, this chick told me you're not going to visit till after your school's done, and my people came from over 600 miles away. Chale, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I told him, I said,
well, it was somebody from 4 Block.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Because remember when I don't know if I think you did a video on it where the guy was crying about something from 4 Block about something about his lunch, and then he started bringing it. That he was crying about us in 3 Block, right? That guy, I got it. Well, I campaigned against him, and I told him, "Get this fool out of here, bro, and push me in there." You know what I mean? I go, let me, and I ended up getting that job, and I moved to 4 Block.
That was the guy from San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was right. He was a C number. That's why I told him that day. He brought up the who does this, the who does that. I said, so when you gonna do it then? He was like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, because I got that, because I ended up getting that job, and then it was cool. I liked it because I don't know if you remember the homeboy I was set up with. the first one was tall youngster, bro. This dude was like, to me, he was like 7 feet tall. Frosty.
Oh
You
yeah,
remember Frosty?
yeah.
That dude was tall. Okay, he was my celly. Then he went back to 3 block, and then I ended up getting Ghost, and
Oh,
he stayed in my celly all the way up until
I liked
till
him,
the
man.
till
I
the
remember
riot. Until
everybody
the
was.
riot happened.
I remember everybody was mad at him. You know, he had that. He was mad about a certain person that came to the yard. I'm sure you remember, and
Mm.
But anyways, I want to get back when we went to prison. Back in those days, Holmes. Like when I said it was a death sentence to get life. It was because nobody was getting out.
Yeah,
We didn't have vocations. Our vocation was make a knife and hang out on the yard, right?
that was the first thing they taught us when I went there. They you go, you need to learn how to make a knife. You need to learn how to
Yeah.
how to hoop it and take it to the yard and take it out and all kinds of crazy nasty stuff, bro. That we shouldn't have to live like that, but that's just the way prison is, you know.
It was
It was
survival.
ugly.
It was survival. That's it.
Because I'll share this with you guys. My very first 2 weeks when I ended up in the shoe right there in New Folsom, I drove up with the bus, right? And that first week, bro, there was 8 of us or 9 of us, something like that. I would say like 4 of them dudes got in the cell, they got hurt,
Mhm.
right? And then to hear like 3 cells down from me, bro, this this uh this this guy, I'll say it like that, was being, I mean, I don't know how, man, bro. It's ugly to have, because it still echoes at me when it creeps up on me sometimes, those thoughts and those sounds. You know what
Mm,
I mean?
mm,
And I don't like, I mean, it's ugly. And I was hearing all this stuff, right? And then I go, where in the hell do they have? I'm in hell. I remember hearing, and I saying to myself, I'm in hell, man. I go, I better marar un huevo and get to knuckling up if I have to. And that's exactly what I did. You know what I mean? I go, I got to survive. I got to do what I have to do. I got to learn what I have to learn. And then
mhm.
my neighbor, who was someone was, he was like talking to me through the vent, telling me all this stuff that I had to hear and learn, and stuff like that.
Mhm,
So it was crazy, bro. That first two weeks, and then like within a month, I tell you, I ended up catching another shoe.
mhm.
I was doing this stuff right here. Me raising the mano para arriba, hey, yeah, get me, I'll do it. It was just full throttle after that. You know,
Well, I mean, and that's part of that's why I wanted to do this interview, because that's part of the misery of prison back then. Was nobody even thought, hey, I'm going home.
yeah,
Nobody. It was, everybody was like this is my life and I'm gonna make the best of it.
yeah,
And it wasn't until later, but then, because I don't want to go too long, we're already 15 minutes in. um Later, when the law changed for us, we still had to do our own rehabilitation for the most part. Yeah,
yeah.
like CGA was offered, AVP, AANA, but there's only a certain amount of people that are allowed in there.
And that's the thing right there. We're like, okay, I'll share my other part of my testimony with you and your audience. Is that my true rehabilitation started when I surrendered to my Lord and Savior Jesus
Mhm,
Christ, bro.
mhm,
You know what I mean? He saved me. He rehabilitated. He renewed my heart and my mind and my soul. With the scriptures, because there's a lot in the scriptures and teachings and of of God, bro, that if we would just apply them into our lives, into our hearts and minds, you'll see the transformation that
mhm.
you get by the power of the Holy Spirit, bro, that he seals us with, you know. And he started to do that because when I didn't care about nothing, about anybody, I don't care about your feelings, I don't care about this, I don't, you know, I actually started caring for people, bro. I started in there, especially it's a weakness if you start showing feelings or you start showing kindness or whatever. And I started to apply those things that we are so ingrained not to show to other people. But we get desensitized of humanity in there, bro. You know what I mean? And when I became a Christian in there in 2006, bro, I started to care for people. I started to try to do my best, and I started helping people get in. I started going out to the yard and campaigning to these dudes out in the yard being yard bums. Get into AVP, get into CGA, get into AA, get into NA. Because I was always trying to get away from the drug. Because I quit drugs. I mean, I don't do drugs, period. Now I drink a little bit here and there, me pongo un poquito pedo and all that, but I don't drugs for nothing, bro. I won't, you know, because I have medical conditions. I won't even take the drugs that they try to prescribe for me anymore. I just deal with the pain that I'm in 24/7, and that's it. You know what I mean? And that's what I started doing in there. And then I got involved with helping out these kids when they used to bring them to prison. Ours was called Edge. Our program that was bringing in the kids so we can talk to them and try to straighten them out. I was so happy to get involved in that because that showed me a lot about an impact that we could have in there, even though we're locked up in there. And then the impact we can have if God forbid, I mean, God willing that we get out, right? Which I did. Thank God. But in there, that program was called Edge. It was called Educate, Diverse, Goals to Endeavor. That's what it stood for, right? And when they would bring these kids, bro, a lot of them, we would get them to open up. A lot of them were being abused, you know, verbally, mentally, some physically. A lot of them were contemplating suicide or even going to the schools and doing mass shootings. We were able to stop them from doing that. We even got them to give up guns, give up, you know, we would get them the help that we had through the COs. I forgot what CO it was, but they had the resources out there to get them involved in stuff out there and the positive programmings and stuff. That was something that I was so proud to be part of. I did that for like 3 years, I think. And then I got transferred to another prison and stuff like that. But yeah, man, yeah, thinking about all that stuff, just like, it's so cool, bro, to be able to be out here now. Cause I did that a little bit before my physical, you know, stuff started kicking in, my health and stuff. I was getting invited to go talk to, you know, to schools, like elementary schools, and to go talk to these teenagers and some of the even younger, bro, that are already cagando el palo, you know, and just try to share with them, explain to them, you know, because the ones we hurt the most is our family when we do our stupidity, you know what I mean? And I thank God, you know, like that picture right there behind me, that's my mom and dad, you know. And I thank God that he gave me the blessing and the opportunity to get out and spend that time with them, you know, because my mom passed away already. I got to be there with her. My dad, as you know, he's not doing too good right now. I just got an update right before you called me, like about 20, 30 minutes. You know, that stuff, he's not doing very well. So praying for him. But he's still here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least you got to be. And I talk about that, and we're going to go ahead and bring this to a close. But I talk about that often, to where, you know, all these guys that talk the tough talk on, and, you know, in the comment section and on social media, they don't get homes that everybody behind those walls, I don't care who it is, if they had an opportunity to come home and be with their mother before they pass, or their father or their kids, they want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, well, anybody in their right mind, right?
they can't talk about it, but they want to do that, you know, and people are focused on the wrong things. And that's why I wanted to bring you on here. You know, between the two of us, it's over that's 55 years of incarceration between you and I. You know?
Hey, don't be exposing our age, carnal.
That's combined. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this to a close. We're 20 minutes in. Thank you for being here. If you guys want me to bring him back, plus I apologize. I know with StreamYard it buffers a little bit, but hopefully it wasn't too bad for you guys. Thank you for being here. If you want to say anything before we go ahead.
I'll just say that to my family first and foremost, right? Because I remember you did a video that if you do anything before you leave this earth, leave a video so your family could look at it. And this is the one.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And this is the one so they can see, you know, everything that happened in there. They know I'm sorry. They know I'm remorseful. They embraced me when I got out. I love my family, even though they're way over there, I'm way over here. God put me here where I'm at now, living my life. I have a blessed church, bro. I have blessed brothers and sisters in Christ who love me and I love them, you know, and I just want them to know I'm in God's hands. And for your audience, God bless. Surrender to the Lord Jesus Christ. And because he is the way, the truth, and the life, man.
There you go.
Thank you for the opportunity, bro.
Absolutely. No problem. Thank